Gilberto, that was more like it. That's what we expect from Brazil.
It's fantastic, you know. After a very difficult first half, where Serbia, you know, they just close, you know, every chance for Brazil. They made the things very hard, but then Brazil in the second half, they came out and they played, created chance, you know. As Mika said, it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
It's gonna come. He kept saying it. He was getting so excited.
Exactly. I was so, because the first half was the sort of showed us glimpses of what they could do. And on the wings, it was getting in good positions, but didn't have that composure. In the second half, it opened up, and it was a brilliant watch.
And Richarlison, the star of the show, Alan.
9 goals in his last 7 appearances.
I always knew that a Tottenham centre forward would shine at this World Cup.
I mean, his goals, very different goals. First one was a Portuguese goal, which gave me as much satisfaction as seeing the incredible volley that they touch and everything else with his second one. But he's a man in form in that yellow shirt. Yet to score in the Premier League for Spurs this season, but for Brazil, it seems he's on fire.
Scored 1 and 2 in the Champions League. And Richarlison is actually the second Brazilian player this century to score multiple goals on his World Cup debut. The other one?
Ronaldo.
This century, no. That's his debut. Debut. The man himself, Neymar, of course, yes, against Croatia in 2014. Fantastic performance from him, Michael.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, when you're looking at Brazil, and we was all excited before we came today, we was thinking, are they going to put on a show for us? And the teased us, and then the second half came, and Richarlison, who, you know, is Marmite at times, but today he really showed why he's Brazil's number 9. You've got the likes of Jesus on the bench, who a lot of people will think Firmino is at home. He's not even here, and he showed today why he's number 9. It was brilliant.
So much talent in forward areas, so much choice.
Yes, it's very good for the manager. Sometimes make things hard for him to choose who's going to start. But doesn't matter who he picks for start, you know. And then he knows if they don't play well, they don't perform. He got a chance to bring another one, fresh, excited again, because the guys on the bench, they want to go there at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
so impressive. I thought, I mean, not so much in the first half. They never give anything away, despite not scoring in that first half. But they were always in control. They always looked relaxed on the ball. Defensively, they were never really put under any serious
They didn't have
pressure.
a shot on target, Serbia.
No, not a shot on target. So they just, I mean, it was relentless for Serbia the second half. The way those defenders kept feeding the midfielders into the forward guys and just said, go on, do your stuff, guys. And that's well, Richarlison did that anyway.
You could see it coming. Micah said it coming. We all saw it coming. And Richarlison, I quite enjoyed the first goal even more than the second, I think.
I did as well. I did, honestly, because the positioning of him to pick up those scrappy little goals, the ones where the goalkeeper's going to tap them out in and around the 6-yard box. Yes, to me, that gives me as much satisfaction as the incredible second goal that he scored. He's in the right position. He's first to react. He gets his shot away in the goal. But Neymar does his bit there into Vinicius. Then the keeper pulls a good save. But just watch his movement for him actually to get in there. He's first to react, as all good strikers are. It's what you have to do.
Keep moving.
Absolutely, and you're not going to get picked up and put it away. It looks very simple, it's not. You've got to get in there. You've got to be first to react, and then you've got to finish it. It's very, very good centre-forward play.
Yeah. I think we're half teasing, really, in the sense that obviously we prefer the second goal, really, because that Gilberto was very special, wasn't it? Maybe the goal of the tournament, certainly so far.
Yeah, so far, yes. And it's quite impressive to see him score that goal. But, you know, he deserves it now. He's doing a great job for Brazil. And also to cooperate, you know, for the second half. You know, the change that Tite made on the second half create a lot of more chance for them. It was so good because they smashed them, just kept them at the back and to create so much chance.
I mean, the left foot, the touch with the left foot.
And
then to swivel and then hit it with the right foot.
It's actually better in normal speed, isn't it? It's incredible.
Look at the agility.
I quite like that one, though. Slow motion.
And all the things Serbia did well in the first half, not getting too exposed down the width. Vinicius had a field day in the main and up to that goal.
I mean, you mentioned Vinicius there. I mean, he was outstanding. I mean, he obviously had an assist for both goals, and he was a threat he's actually the most threatening player in the first half as well, when they were a little bit off it.
Yeah, he really was outstanding. I think that when he first went to Real Madrid, there was big questions asked about his form, and was he a little bit inconsistent?
It was just his finishing, but he seems to, and his final ball, but he's added that to his game the last 18 months.
Exactly that, the final ball. And in the first half, he had a few good chances to maybe lay it off. You know, the wing-back and the third centre-back didn't know how to deal with him. His pace, and we talk about that composure and inconsistency. On that occasion there, it's there. But in the second half, he just kept going and going and going. His all-round game was brilliant.
So
I think with all the tactical nous that Brazil had in trying to nullify Serbia in the middle of the pitch, for Brazil to get Vinicius free on the outside of the pitch, on the wing here, was just brilliant. And like we said, involved in both goals. Neymar probably should have done better here, but his all-round game was fantastic. It really was.
They were just relentless the way Brazil kept going at them and kept chipping away. It wasn't quite there first half, but they stepped it up a gear in the second half, didn't they?
Would you believe that was Vinicius' first assist for Brazil in his 17th cap? But you know what it says, like yellow buses. One comes along and then immediately you get another one. But
I mean, the options that Brazil have in forward positions is incredible. Some really talented players.
Yeah, some younger players, but they are growing up fast. You know, because they are playing the bigger leagues and make a very good decisions in the games. You know, deciding the games for Madrid, for Arsenal, and some other clubs. And when they come to Brazil, they just want to do well.
How much confidence will that give, not just Vinicius Junior, but also, of course, Richarlison going into the rest of the tournament to deliver when it really matters?
Very important. I think a picture like this show that they are in a good shape, in a good form to go for the trophy. I think this is important. I think this after the first the first half, very difficult game, but come out for the second half and have this great opportunity, great chance, could score more. Give them the sense that we just have to avoid to make mistakes at the back. Because at some point the goal will come, as it happened today.
It's interesting, Richarlison, because he's not played that much as a number 9. He did when Calvert-Lewin got injured at Everton, but he's generally played slightly in wider areas. Even for Tottenham, he's going to struggle to get into there, although who knows after this performance. Do you see him as a natural 9? He's certainly got those poaching qualities.
Well, when you look at his goal tonight, his first goal, then it's very difficult to argue against that, because his position and his timing was absolutely perfect. And you're right. I mean, he's not going to play that role very often at Spurs whilst Harry Kane's there and Harry's fit, so it's going to be difficult. But the manager obviously has great faith and great belief in him, because you said, and your words before the game, he smells of goals. The manager's words were that. So and why not? I mean, that's 9 in his last 7 appearances. So he's a really good talent. The
downside for Brazil tonight, no question, is the concern over Neymar. I mean, he has had ankle issues over the last few years, and that big worry that.
Yeah, we talked about Neymar being his competition, being in the form of his life this season. But when he goes down here, it is a worry. Hopefully, it's not anything too serious, but you don't want your main man injured, especially in the first game.
He was actually fouled 9 times in this match, at least 4 more fouls than any other player at the World Cup so far. So, but I suppose the way he plays, he brings on fouls a lot of the time. I'm going to see a Fred effort. He had a game on. He came on Manchester. I want to ask him, because you're his representative, his agent, aren't you?
Yes.
If he'd have scored here, do you get an assist?
That's a good one. I always tell him, when I have an opportunity, because as a central midfielder, you are not there all the time. You have to make the best out of it,
Now I know why you were shouting for Fred to come on all the time.
It's a good one. I was crossing my fingers as well.
Fantastic. Well, this sets up Brazil nicely. I mean, they very rarely lose a group game. I think they've only ever lost 1, but that will give them confidence.
It was important, Gary. This first victory, you know how that means to bring the confidence for all of them to the rest of the competition. Because if you start and don't have a good game, you don't win you put pressure on yourself for the next game. As they want, okay, the first game has passed, you have done well, just keep going. And I believe, all this performance, from the first half, supporting, be patient to create a chance and go for the second half, create all this amount of chance. We give them a sense, listen, let's do things right. We got plenty of chance. If the players on the pitch cannot solve the problem, teach make the change. And the players who came out, wow, they are so good. Rodrigo, Martinelli came on, and Zeus, plenty of options.
Yeah, and the other thing, when we look at Brazil, and it's not always been the case in recent years, we love to see that flair and flamboyance, and that they had that in abundance in the second half.
Yeah, they did, and that's what we was waiting for. We was all excited, not just us, the fans coming in. It's the best stadium we've been to, the best noise we've heard, the best atmosphere. And in the end, they delivered. And hopefully they can grow throughout the tournament because they've got more as well.
Real Brazil.
Yeah, that's what it was, the second half, where we wanted to be entertained. They certainly did that. They scored 2. It could have been another 3 or 4.
Okay, Alan, thank you very much. Gilberto, thank you. Micah, don't go anywhere, though, because we'll continue the conversation and talk more about...